Plan B.
Your weekend fix.
Only here for the weekend. Spin 1038.
Now, I don't have one single tattoo on my body, but a show that I was addicted to a few years ago was Miami Ink. The show made me look at tattoos in a completely different way, and I was in awe with the talents of one guy in particular, the boss, Army James. I'm happy to say that Army and his business partner, Ross Nagle, join me on Plan B now. Guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for having us.
What brings you both here?
Well, a few years back, Ross and I started to talk about a possible shop opening in Ireland, and merely from the fact that, when the economy kind of crashed in Ireland, I started noticing a decline of my Irish clientele, and so Ross explained to me that, Ireland went through some hard times, and not many people could afford flying to Miami. Miami's not cheap, nor New York. So
people would actually fly out to you to get the tattoos done?
Yeah, we used to have a gigantic Irish clientele, but as as people couldn't afford flying to Miami anymore, I said, you know what, maybe it's best that we open a shop, come to them. It's a lot easier for one man to meet hundreds than hundreds to fly to meet one man. So I think we probably made the smartest decision by opening Love Hate Cork.
I have to admit, I said at the start, I was a huge fan of Miami Ink. I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy the experience?
You enjoy everything, obviously, till you do it for, 60,000 hours. So it was definitely, it took a toll. We did it for 4 years. We did, I shot over 120 episodes of Miami and New York. So it was definitely straining, But, all in all, I had great memories, great time. I still have the shops.
The great thing about Miami Ink, well, I suppose there were negatives and there were positives, right? The positives were that people looked at tattooing in a different way. Like, for the first time ever, I have to say, I look at it as an art form. It is incredible. The negative, though, is the drama that surrounded it. How much of it was real? How much of it was fake?
Unfortunately, when you make TV, if it was just about the tattoos, then the network would never be happy. And because the networks seem to think that drama is what drives networks to have ratings, we were kind of, I can't say forced, but definitely pushed towards creating. So I call it an amplifier. If I would have been mad because Ross would have been, late to work that day, now I need to amplify times 1,000 and make such a big deal of it, because if the viewer was just like, oh, I can't believe Ross is late, it just doesn't really come across that much. So unfortunately, people that watch TV want to see a lot of drama.
Yeah.
It's not what you're going to see when you walk into one of the shops. We have no drama. The last time I think I walked into one of my shops and screamed at somebody was when I shot Miami Ink, because other than that, I have no interest to come in and scream at anybody.
Do you know the other thing that came across on the show, and Ross, you could probably help with this as well, is the amount of backstories with a tattoo. Does everybody who comes into a tattoo parlour have a sad story to go with their tattoo?
Not at all. The shop I have in Limerick, where we have a huge clientele of people who just collect tattoos. So we probably in the shop in Limerick, 80% of our clientele are just people who collect tattoos because they like the look of them.
That's a really interesting way of putting it. So they're collectors.
Yeah, it's the same way as collecting art. I've been tattooed by over 50, 60 people right now. So
really,
yeah. Look, again, as Amy said, you have to dramatise things on TV as well.
Yeah.
And look, that's not saying people don't have stories behind their tattoos. A lot of people do. I've got tattoos that have stories behind them. Everyone does, But at the end of the day, a lot of people just collect tattoos just because they like the look of them. They love the art,
Do you know the other thing that came across on the show? No one was in pain. Everyone who has a tattoo tells me that it is painful. You guys have had quite a few tattoos. How painful is it really?
Tattoos is not a massage parlor, It's, nobody comes in expecting to get a foot massage and just be in ecstasy over a tattoo. Tattoos hurt. That's the price you pay for something that's going to last you a lifetime, if that's what you want, the commitment and the whole bonding experience, or the marking of a certain part of your life. At the same time, it's a lot more refreshing to have somebody come into the shop and say, I just want a dragon because I love dragons. I don't want to hear your crappy ass stories about why you want this, that. It just doesn't interest me most of the time. But unfortunately, for you to just watch 5 hours of tattooing, there has to be a story attached to it,
Yeah.
because the viewers won't be captivated by just watching somebody tattoo for that long.
Is it true that a year after you decided I'm not tattooing for a while? Is that true? That you went off?
Yeah, I think I took almost a 2-year break after,
Wow.
because the association of tattoos with death just kind of took a toll on me. So it wasn't that I completely stopped tattooing. I just went in, tattooed once or twice a week. I didn't want to do it every day. I didn't want to hear anybody's stories. I never had to. So all of a sudden you become a psychiatrist, and that's not what I signed up for. I'm just a tattooer, and I'm happy being just a tattooer. And so it becomes difficult. It took a toll. I had to take a break, clear my head. I sat in a room for 4 years and recorded a show. So after that, I just needed my breath,
Yeah.
catch my breath and get back to normal.
When you do the tattooing, are you guys ever nervous? I know that, sometimes when I go to write a card, I'm nervous writing a card because I do not want to make a mistake. At least I can rip up that card and start again. You guys can't really start again.
No, but that's listen, if anybody will tell you that they've done a perfect tattoo, it's a lie. There's no such thing as a perfect tattoo. We're not machines. We're artists. And you might look at a canvas and say this painting is perfect, but it's not. The artist that did it will always be able to pick his mistakes. Maybe the light wasn't in the right place, and the source, and so many things could go wrong, and the line work is not perfect, the nose is not perfect. So you might not notice it. We will always notice our mistakes, but at the end of the day, that's what gives a tattoo its soul, is that it's not perfect. It's not a machine-made thing. It's made by hand. It's done by somebody that has been trained in his craft, and will always try to get better. The day you think you're the best is the day you might as well stop.
So how do you start training? I know training, once you've been doing it for a while, you get better. But you wouldn't like to think that the person tattooing you are their first ever tattoo. How do you train?
Usually you find friends that turn into your enemies.
That's exactly what it was.
That was very evil.
You pick a friend you don't want to stay friends with for very long, and you just practice on him, and eventually he stops talking to you, and it's kind of like a win-win situation.
Tell me about Love Hate Social Club. It's down in Cork.
First week alone, we already have people travelling from outside of the country to come get tattooed.
So you have book. You can't just walk in. You're gonna have to book, aren't you?
You can. We take walk-ins too. We obviously recommend to make an appointment.
Yeah.
It's, you're guaranteed your spot or whatever. But no, we take walk-ins. But we've a lot of people booked in. They're coming from outside of the country, which is great for us. We've obviously made a big impact already before we've even opened.
Well, Ross, Nagle and Army James, good luck with this. Is this the first of many, maybe? Maybe we could see a possible Dublin branch opening up soon.
Never say never, but, one at a time.
Well, guys, great to meet you and good luck with it all.
Thank you very much.
Plan B
with Sarina Bellissimo.
Spin 1038.